everyone, welcome back to Sweet Yellow House. Today we have some spring and Easter projects. I will have some decorating using these projects on my other channel, so head over there, subscribe so you don't miss out on that. I will also be uploading some of these and past projects on my website, so if any of those interest you, go check them out. So we're going to start off with project 1, and it is this frame. It had this cute little print on the inside of, I think it's a quail, I want to say. So I just removed that, and I'm also going to remove the staples that are holding the glass in. I'm going to also remove this hanger that someone had put on there, and just using my cute little tool set that I just absolutely love, and I will have this link below as well. If you turn it over, it shows you everything that it has inside. I have used this so much since I bought this, so this is the tool set that I use now to remove everything and put everything back together. So I'm going to clean this little frame up using my Myers cleaner here. This is an all-purpose cleaner. I love it. I think I pretty much stopped using Clorox and stuff like that. This is just easier. So I have this canvas. It's a 6x8, and I got this French eggshell fusion mineral paint from Diana, and I am going to paint that, and I did a couple of coats on there, just drying that with my heat gun in between coats. So after I have all of that said, I grab my Petites Ornaments IOD Gilded Transfer, and I'm going to pick out a couple of transfers here that I want to use. I'm still at this point not 100% sure what I'm going to do, so sometimes it goes like that. You just know the look you're going for, but you're not really sure how you're going to get there. So I'm just testing some of these things out, putting the frame over them just to see what I think I can come up with. So I decided on some transfers. I cut those out, and I'm going to apply those onto the canvas. I noticed with these transfers, lighter is better. You don't need to manhandle these at all. You just really have to kind of go over them very lightly with the transfer sticks. So now that I have those on, I'm grabbing the IOD Katarina transfer set, and I love these birds, so I'm going to cut those out and put those in the center there. The color of the birds along with the gold is just beautiful. I did something similar to this last week, and I just wanted to kind of recreate it in a little bit of a different way. So since I have that transferred, I'm just kind of seeing how that looks there. I love this frame, but I wanted to give it a little bit more of some star power against that picture that we created. So I'm grabbing my gilding wax. I think this is Empire Gold. This is my favorite wax that I use, gold wax. So I just did the inside ledge of that and decided to go ahead and do the outside. I am gonna reapply and put in the glass and the canvas there, and then using this snazzy little tool, I am going to lock that in there, and I will also have this tool down below. I love the way this turned out. It's so pretty, just gorgeous. I'm not like a blue teal type of person, but I always seem to be decorating with it, and especially for spring, it just brings out that feeling. So project 2 is this crazy little box that I got from the Goodwill a couple of weeks ago, and I will say it's pretty ugly. That was my thought, but I like the bones of it, so I'm just gonna go in and remove everything that I want removed from there, including this metal flower, which I think will come in handy in a different project. I'm not going to use it here though. So just removing everything from this that I don't want and then cleaning it up with some all-purpose cleaner. On the bottom it had like this black type of fabric on there as well, and I'm going to remove that as well. So I had my sander here, and I'm just using that to kind of get the glue and the fuzz off of the bottom so it's smooth. And I'm doing that just because I want to be able to paint that as well. I'm also going to remove the hinges. I always like to do this. I know a lot of people don't like it. It's, you know, but for me, it makes things a lot easier to paint. And it just, especially if I don't want to have to work around the hinges if I'm not going to paint those the same color. So I'm just corralling those in a little silicone cupcake, I don't know, baker cup, so I don't lose any of that. And again, I'm going to grab my French eggshell from Fusion Mineral Paint, and I'm going to do several coats on this box, making sure that I have good coverage all over all of it. I'm also going to go on to the bottom. I'm not going to paint the inside of this box because it is has a fabric insert on the top of it and the bottom. Inside of it, so I'm just going to do the outside of that box, drying in between the coats with my embossing gun. I'm sorry, my voice is a little bit out of it today. Everybody's kind of going through this allergy cough thing, or I'm not sure if we're sick. I think it's just allergies, but so we're all kind of like coughing and got scratchy voices, so I apologize for that. So just using my paintbrush, I'm just slowly going over the edges of that, making sure that everything is covered. So I have these 4 little wood feet. All of this stuff is unfinished, and I'm just kind of putting things together. I did get this flower decoration from Amazon, and I'll have that link below if I can find it. So I'm going to grab my Dixie Belle Voodoo gel stain, and I'm just going to use a brush and go over all of these, putting it on and then wiping it back. The Voodoo gel stain is called Tobacco Road, and I have this one, and I do have the black one, but this is the only one that I've used so far, and I really do like it. I like the color that it puts off, and a lot of it depends on the kind of wood that you're putting it over as well. So once I have all of those coated, I'm grabbing my Sweet Pickins top coat in gloss, and I'm going to give these wood pieces all a coat to have them protected. There was one little piece, that small finio, that I ended up not using. I wasn't sure if I was going to use that one or the little small button one that's next to it. So I decided on the small one, so I didn't end up using that finial. So I'm going to set those aside to dry. I'm going to grab my IOD transfers in the Lost Garden. And you see all these pieces, odd and end pieces. I'm going to do my darndest to use every bit of those. So this is a great project to use those odd and ends, especially with this kind of pattern, because you can put it all over any way you want and it looks really pretty. And because it's such a random, viney kind of pattern there. So I was able to use a bunch of this, cutting pieces out here and there that I wanted, mix and matching it, and at the end of it, it just looked so beautiful. It looked like one giant transfer. So here's the bottom of the box here. And you can see I used pretty much all of those odd and end pieces. And then I'm going to go back and do the top of it. I should have probably did it as one piece, but I'm completely happy with the way it was. I have no regrets. I have no regrets at all. So I grab another piece and I'm just going to use that big piece and go over the top of the box. I'm burnishing that into place, making sure that I don't have any kind of flyaway edges and nothing's going to get caught on there. So I'm just kind of fixing the top to that just to see how everything looks. I'm really happy with that. I think it looks beautiful against that French eggshell.
Trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you do.
So I'm replacing those hinges again. I'm putting them back on, making sure that they're in there. And these little silicone cups are the best because I know I have lost little screws and stuff before, and this just kind of keeps everything together for me. So I did not put those transfers on the bottom of that box. I just felt like that would kind of be a waste, but I am going to start applying these little feet to the box here using I think I was using, the E6000 is what I used there. Just making sure that I had all of that covered and that they were on there really well. I gave them a long time to dry so that it could cure. So I'm just going around the lip of that little foot there, making sure I have good coverage like I said, and then placing that where I wanted it. And I just went ahead and did that for all four. So I set that aside to dry, and once that was all dry, I can show you here because it already had a hole in the top of that from the other flower that I unscrewed. So we just went ahead and went back and applied that in the same way. So to finish this out, I grabbed the Jolie finishing wax in clear, and I'm just going to apply a really good coat over that whole box. I put a really thick coat on this. I just wanted to make sure that I had everything laying down and really protected. So I just went over this really well, just kind of making sure that that wax was everywhere. Using a soft cloth, then I went back and wiped it back. This flower does turn, but it is pretty steady on there just because of the screw. It's not glued down at all. So anybody that wanted to purchase it, if they decided they wanted to put something else on there, they totally could. This is such a dramatic makeover as far as I'm concerned. I just love the way this box turned out. And I have really contemplated keeping it, but I can't keep everything I make. That's why, sometimes I just have to say no to myself, even though this is gorgeous. It would make such a pretty gift. Or even to put a gift inside of it and use it to, present the gift. It's so gorgeous. So project 3 is this little box. It doesn't have a lid or anything. It's just kind of like a open box. And I got this from Goodwill. It has like a flower kind of carved out, a couple of flowers carved out of the front of that. And I also have this random little footed candlestick thingy that I got from somewhere. I'm pretty sure I got that from the Goodwill as well, and that is actually unfinished. So I'm gonna clean this box up, and then I'm gonna grab my folk art home decor wax, and I'm gonna start on the bottom, the footed part of this, only because it's bare wood, and I want to get it as close as I can to the top of this. Again, I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, but I know that I want to attach these together, and that's as far as I got as working it out in my little brain there. So I got that stained, and they're quite a bit different. The box itself is a really red wood, so I think I'm gonna paint it. So using this folk art crackle, I'm gonna go over the whole box with this and just cover it, and I'm gonna let that dry. I used this crackle before and it didn't really work out for me. I'm not sure what I did wrong, so I'm just kind of hoping that it works out this time. I'm grabbing this folk art matte paint in Daybreak, and then once that crackle medium is dry, I'm going over the whole box with this color. Now, the trick with crackle paint is that you want to have a lot of paint on your brush so that it doesn't drag. If you go back over it, or if that paint kind of starts dragging, you're going to start getting some, like here, like missing pieces there. I mean, but you're using crackle, so it's supposed to kind of have that rustic look, and that's really what I want from this. I want some of that wood to show through, but I want it to look like it's been painted and abused, and just have that really vintage look. So again, I'm going to grab my Voodoo Tobacco Road Dixie Belle stain, and I'm going over the bottom again, and I'm just trying to see if I can bring a little bit more redness to that wood. It made it a little bit darker, but not so much, but I was okay with that. So once I have that all set, I grab my Sweet Pickins top coat in the gloss, and I'm gonna go ahead and coat the bottom part of that.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.
I do have big plans for this little box, so that will be over on my other channel when I start decorating with it. And a lot of these that I have today is because I'm going to do just kind of an entryway decoration video over there. So go over there and check it out. Subscribe so you don't miss any of that. And I have a lot of other stuff going on with, my gardening and garden planning and new beds going in and all of that. So go check that out. I think that a lot of people that are kind of into that kind of stuff, it's going to be good. So once I got that, I sanded that back a little bit and wiped it down, and I'm going to grab that crackle again, and I'm just going to go over the carved part of the flowers with that. So I'm just going to go in and fill that in. My thought is that I want to put a second color in, and I want to make sure that that kind of crackles as well. But before I do that, I'm going to grab my E6000, and I'm going to glue that pedestal onto the bottom of that so that the crackle and the E6000 can dry while I figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of it. So once I have that all set, I'm going to put that into place, and I want to make sure that I measure that so I have it centered. And I'm just going to let that dry. So once it's dry, I am all set to go. So I grabbed my folk art chalk in blushed pink, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of that out, and grabbing a small paintbrush, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to go from the center out. So I'm just putting that, like I said, starting from the center of that flower and just kind of spreading that outward so it kind of fades into that. It did not crackle, I think because I don't know, using a pouncing motion, but I put it on so thin that you could actually see the crackle underneath it, and so it kind of gave the same effect. So I'm just drying that quickly with my embossing gun so that I can go ahead and finish that up. So I grab my Sweet Pickins beeswax, and I'm gonna do a coat over that. I didn't do the bottom part because I had already sealed that, so I'm just doing the part that I painted. The reason that I'm putting the clear coat on there is because I want to put a coat of black. So I put the clear on, I didn't even wipe it back, and then I just went ahead and added the DIY dark wax over that because I just wanted to bring that bright yellow back just a little bit, just so that it could look a little bit more antique. So I put that on, and then I'm just kind of wiping it back, making sure that dark wax kind of gets in all those little crevices to bring out a little bit more of that detail. And that was it. So once I have the wax removed, as much as I wanted to have it, then I grabbed my Empire Gold gilding wax again, and I'm just going to grab a small paintbrush and just go into the center of that flower just to bring out a little bit of that detail and just to give it a little bit more shine. And that's how it is before, and this is how it is after. I like it. I know it's not for everyone. Like I said, I have big plans for this, and I will be showing that on my other channel. But I think once I do what I originally wanted for this, it's gonna be so gorgeous. I'm so excited to do it. So project 4 are these little hanging candle holder / vase things. My dad actually gave these to me. He said do something with them, so I've actually had them for quite a while, and they're pretty filthy because I had them outside and stuff. So I'm just gonna start off by removing the chains and stuff, and I thought first I just removed the chain because I thought maybe I might use them again, but then I started looking at this and I thought I don't think I'm gonna use them for what they started out as. So I went ahead and just clipped everything off of these, and after I get everything taken off, I'm gonna take them over to the sink and give them a really good washing. So you could see here, I'm like, these look like really cute little cloches, so here we go. I grabbed these little nests from Hobby Lobby, and what I'm going to do with these is actually not use them as nests. I'm going to stretch them out as you see here, and then I'm going to flatten it out so it kind of looks like a basket bottom, like kind of like a flat basket or like plate bottom. So I just stretched that out so that it kind of went, a lot larger than the bottom of that, for lack of a better word, cloche. And then I just kind of smashed it with my hand so that it flattened out. So I have these 2 discs, and I'm going to use these as kind of platforms for those little nest, and I'm going to grab my DIY Dark and Decrepit and give those little rounds a coat. I did 2 coats on these just so that they got to a really dark state that was closer to those little nests there, and because I wanted it to kind of be more you know, just like a stand to kind of support them. So once I have that all done and drying, I'm grabbing some moss and just gluing that to the little flattened out nest. I also have these little eggs here that I've had for a while, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue those in there as well. I thought about not gluing them in, but then I realized that I'm probably either going to sell these or use them for just Easter, so I just went ahead and made them a permanent thing. I have these cute little paper cutouts, and so I put a couple inside next to those little eggs, and then I decided that I wanted them to kind of be a bigger presence, so I'm gonna go ahead and make those rounds footed little raised platforms for those cloches. So I grabbed my DIY Dark and Decrepit and go ahead and give those candlesticks a coat as well, and then finishing those off with the Dixie Belle. What is that? Oh, I'm sorry, it's Sweet Pickins, and it's the top coat in gloss.
Kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
So project 5 are these little ornaments that I got at Christmas time. Well, I got these after Christmas. These are from Michael's, and I think I got them for like some ridiculous 60% off. So they have the center part of those are hollowed out, and these are actual glass, they're not plastic. So I started out by removing the little hanger and stuff on there, and I got some Spanish moss, and I'm gonna use my glue gun and just glue some of that Spanish moss to each of these on the inside. I put those in some of those silicone cupcake liners just to kind of hold them in place, and so they're not going to roll around. Looking in my stash, I had these cute little bunnies, and I had a little chick that and these are ceramic. I got these from Hobby Lobby, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe, and so I just wanted to use them up. So I put glue on the bottom of those and then stuck those in each of the little ornaments.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night trying to.
I'm already loving these. I'm already like sitting there looking at them like just like, oh, these are just the cutest. So, of course, we can't stop there, so we're just going to keep going. So I got these florals from Hobby Lobby as well. I'm actually just going to cut off one little branch of that and then cut that down into smaller pieces.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving,
So using my glue gun and cutting these down as I want so they varied in height, I'm just going to glue some of those into the inside of those ornaments next to the little bunny and chick. Oh my goodness, ridiculously cute. So I have plans for these too, which you'll see on my other channel how I'm going to decorate with these. So once I have that done, I'm going to grab my Wild Bowman and the Iron Orchid Design transfers. These are from the new spring 2025 release, and I'm just going to grab some pieces, odd and end little pieces here, and stick them on the outside of that ornament just to kind of give it a little bit more interest and make it look more kind of like this little chick is in the wild. So I stuck those there, and I thought that just came out adorable. You don't have to take those all the way around, and I used such small pieces that it didn't kind of, wrinkle up on me at all. So I grabbed this really thin white, I think it's like a off-white cream ribbon, and I'm just going to use that and put it through the little hoop and use it as the new hanger. This purple ribbon, and you'll see I have some other ribbon. I got that like in one of those bags from the Goodwill. They were all in there together, and I just thought they were perfect. This is wired ribbon, just made a little bow, and then I glued that to the top. This is the other ribbon. This ribbon is gorgeous. It has like hydrangeas, I think they are, and just really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and make a bow out of that, just kind of making the loops with the little ends, and then I'm going to tie the center of that with that thin ribbon, and then just glue some of that bigger ribbon to the center to cover that thin cream ribbon so everything matches.
You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. I feel like the ocean. I can see you want this too.
So that's that. Those are stinking adorable.
I just wanna let you know.
So if you have any Christmas stuff left over, or if you have any of these, this is a cute idea. So I have been trying to release regularly, and I'm gonna stay on this kind of once a week video, and hopefully I can come up with some really great projects week after week. I think that the more often you're creative, the easier it gets to kind of like come up with those things in your head. I just appreciate you guys so much for sticking with me. I've had such an up and down road with this channel, but I feel like things are just going into the positive, and it just gets easier. The voiceovers get easier, and filming gets easier, and I think that I'm really starting to enjoy it a lot more. So thank you for coming and watching today and spending your time with me. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I know our time is valuable. Don't forget to subscribe and follow our other social medias, and I will see you soon.